we usually would have our monthly meetup meetings, and where we go from one topic to the other, understanding some concept in Power BI that might be alien to us, or some that we actually do know, but then we would want to learn more about. So basically, that's what the user group is all about, to help our data analysis journey, and also to help our understanding of Power BI and its usage. And today we have with us one of my bosses, which if you are not new to Twitter or the data space, you would always see him everywhere. You will see his dashboard everywhere. Very user-friendly dashboards, very understandable dashboard. And I'm just going to have to read his profile to us a little bit so we understand who we have on our team. Of course, definitely we'll allow him introduce himself, but then I will do a little bit from my end. So our speaker today, we will be discussing basically about designing with end users in mind, right? Practical UX techniques in Power BI is none other than Mr. Jude Raji, right? He's an experienced data analyst and a visualizer, right? He has worked across different industries: finance, B2B consultancy, education, non-profit organizations, and all of that. He's also a Microsoft certified data analyst. Um, is known for translating complex data into simple and understandable insights. And of course, if you know him very well, know that his visuals are very, very solid to help in making decisions, right? And beyond his professional, of course, he's also passionate about helping others. If you know or you've been on the Abuja Power BI user group, you would know that when there's a question coming up, Jude is there to assist at any point as long as he is busy. He also, of course, he also serves as a mentor and a coach too, and also actively volunteer in different data spaces, right? And today, one of those activities is why he has accepted to be on board today to take us through the journey of how we can build user-friendly dashboards that would be good for our audience and, of course, stakeholders. Jude, please, if you are here, can you just take over? Thank you. Please welcome on board. You can give him a round of applause, please, a virtual one at that. Please just give me a virtual round of applause. Jude, please, if you can hear me, I know you've been on this course for a while.
Thank you, Gabriel. Sorry, am I clear?
Yeah, but you're sounding as though you were sleeping, but I'm sure I understand the terrain
I haven't spoken
the
much. Sorry, I haven't spoken much today. It's still morning where I am. No vex. But
all right.
as time goes on, my voice will clear.
Okay, no problem.
Good morning,
I leave the floor for
everybody.
you.
Can I
Afternoon,
share my
yes.
screen?
We are evening, yes, sir.
Sorry, good evening, everybody. Oh, sorry, over here it's like 11 a.m. Sorry, it's 10 a.m. So I forgot. Sorry. Can I share my screen?
Please, you can. Please go. Feel free. The floor is yours.
Okay. Give me a sec. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna put this on full screen. Hope you can see my screen. Let's begin. Thank you very much for the introduction. While Gabriel was talking, I was like, Nami be this. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I I did not take it lightly. Yeah, I've been a data analyst for the past 4 to 5 years now. Worked in several industries. I used to work in a bank in Nigeria. Some people know me there. I worked in an advertising firm, worked in a business to business consulting firm. I've worked in several industries, and I can say that each one is different. Each one demands something different from you. Like once I step into a new industry, it's like I'm going to have to learn a lot from scratch. I remember it was one of my jobs that I had to pick up Power Platform knowledge, automate Power Apps, Microsoft Dynamics 365 for no reason. I'm a data analyst, what am I using it for? But I had to pick this up because I needed to stay relevant. I'm grateful for that experience, and I've carried it on to my professional and personal life. I use all these things in my personal life also. Um, I'd say about my journey into data analytics, it was at the beginning, it was a very rocky one, a very, very rocky one. I had no roadmap. I was just picking up anything. I was signing up for any course. I remember buying Udemy courses, buying Coursera courses. I'm sure most of us took the Coursera Google Data Analytics course and finished it. When I finished, I was like, okay, what have I done in the last few months? I had no idea what I just did. But over time, I started to look back at what I'd learned. I looked back at what I'd done. I started to see industry experts on YouTube, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. I started to follow. Even not too recently, most of the people I follow these days are UX and UI designers, product designers. These are people who don't even do analytics, but I see their works and I feel, okay, this is very understandable and very relatable. I should be able to mirror this into my designs, and this is how I've been able to make some of my designs better. Today we are discussing about designing with the end user in mind, like basically practical UX techniques in Power BI. Now, a lot of us, when we hear UX or UI, we assume, oh, it's not my business now. I'm a data analyst. Mine is just to analyze data and build dashboard. I don't really do stuff like that, but actually you do, because the dashboard you churn out, the dashboard you design is not for you. I keep telling some of my students, like, you say you did this thing because you put a pink theme on it, like you put a purple theme because, oh, pink is your favorite color. The dashboard is not your own. It's for your user, it's for your stakeholder. You get, it's for those consuming. So you have to put yourself on the other side of the table and look at your work and be like, if I was just a company CEO, member of a board, or a regular user, would I understand this thing I'm giving out, or my other self is giving out? And that's where the user experience comes in. So today we're going to talk about just a few things. I have only 4 sections here, but they are very extensive. I'm going to spend a lot of time talking. I'm going to do a little bit of show and tell, and I'll just try my best to stay on topic. So first of all, we're going to understand what UX is. UX, we'll talk a little about UI also and how it relates to your Power BI dashboard. It can also be used, like the knowledge can also be used with any kind of dashboard, basically, not just Power BI. But since we are in Abuja Power BI user group, I'm going to talk about Power BI a lot. We're also going to talk about UX best practices, do what to do, what not to do, how to do certain things, and why certain things make sense and why some do not. And then we're going to talk about mistakes to avoid. There are a lot of common mistakes that we make, and sometimes we may not see them, but someone else just looking at our dashboard online will pick them immediately and be like, "Oh my goodness, that's bad. Shouldn't have done that, or shouldn't have put that in the dashboard." So just these 4 sections, and we'll be through. I hope that at the end of the day, we gather enough knowledge. You learn from me, I learn from you. We interact, and everybody goes home happy. So, first of all, what is UX? UX, or user experience, talks about the overall experience of a person, or overall experience a person has when they interact with a product, a system, an interface, a dashboard. In fact, in this case, the overall experience a person has when they interact with your Power BI dashboard. It encompasses all aspects of the interactivity, including how easy it is to navigate or to understand at first glance, how enjoyable it is, how well it meets the user's needs. Now, certain people consume dashboards. I say consume because anything you read or see or learn is going into you. So certain people consume dashboards for special needs. Maybe I want to see the performance of my company over the last 3 years. I'm looking at your dashboard. I want to know, does this actually tell me what direction we've been going over the last 3 years? Does this dashboard, at first glance or in a few seconds, does this dashboard actually tell me what I need to know, fulfill my needs? My needs right now are knowledge. And do I enjoy it? Do I find it seamless? You get, is it smooth enough to navigate? Then they have several questions in their mind. So most times they don't even say it out. They don't even know they have these questions. Even us, when we look at other dashboards, we don't know we have questions in our mind, but we're always asking ourselves questions about what we are taking in. Now, attention to user experience, which is UX, makes data exploration intuitive and clear to all users. Like, you see dashboards where people keep coming back to. I know a lot of us have people we follow like that. Yeah, they are beautiful, but they also give that insight, that information we're looking for as users. So if you pay attention to UX, it will build confidence in your users, and they will be happy to use it, to navigate through it, to play with it. I put that in quote, to play with it. I always ask my friends to play with my dashboards and tell me what they feel, what their experience is like. Next, we're going to talk about UI, UX, and UI. Yeah, we see these two acronyms put together oftentimes. Sometimes we feel basically the same thing, but they are not. They have clear
I'm trying to
differences.
understand that.
Sorry. Okay.
Eh,
Sorry. Okay, I'll continue. They have clear differences, even though they work hand in hand. The user experience, that's UI, refers to the experience of the user. That's like tautology. Like what the user feels when they go through your dashboard. Now, the UI just talks about the look. Oh, it looks beautiful. The colors are great. The charts are, everything is fine. Like that's what they see. That's what attracts them to your dashboard to start with. Especially if they have a choice, maybe they're just glancing through or scrolling through social media, they see your stuff. The UI is what pulls them in and say, wait, let me look at this. And they click in, they zoom in, they click on several things. The UX now takes over as per, okay, while they are working with it, they are touching it, they are opening this, they are clicking that, navigating to this or that place. What do they experience? So by definition, it's how they interact, talks about how they interact with your dashboard. UI talks about the visual design. The focus of the UX is just to make sure the user enjoys their experience, they stay long enough to drink it all in. And the focus of the UI is just to pull them in at the start or whenever, to provide clear, visually appealing designs. Everything is fine. That's the UI. Um, the UI and the UX always go hand in hand, but a lot of people neglect the UX part. They make beautiful dashboards. We talked about it so many times in spaces, in different areas where, oh, dashboards are beautiful. These guys' dashboards are so beautiful. But when I click on the navigation, it doesn't really navigate that well. When I click on the filters, I see a lot of errors. I see bad interactivity. That is where the UX has failed. Some people have dashboards that are very functional, but the UI is bad. Okay, there was an argument for this also. They said high level users do not require so much beauty. All they want is give me bar charts, give me pie charts, give me map. But it's still under dispute. But to be up there, you have to find a way to manage to balance the two. UI and UX. Today we're talking about UX because right now it is what is important for most of us. And we want to go into best practices. I feel like I'm rushing, so I'm going to slow down a bit when I get into this part. Now we've talked about what UX or user experience is. We've talked about how important it is, or what is its importance to Power BI and to our dashboard. Talked about UI and UX comparison, similarities, usage, where they both come in. I want to go into best practices for great user experiences. I want to talk about what will make your clients to keep asking you or giving you contracts or telling you, I need another one, I need another one, something similar. So my very first advice for user for Power BI dashboard best practices to know your audience. Now, I whenever I talk about know your audience, my explanation is that we have different kind. We all speak, like, I want to assume that on this call we all speak English. Everybody speaks English, but there's a way you speak this your English when you're talking to your boss compared to when you're talking to your colleague. In fact, some of us even throw pigeon in when we're talking to our colleagues or our friends. There's where you speak this your English when you're in the marketplace. You get, you change. I think someone called it code switching. You change all this stuff when you're interacting with different levels of, or people with different levels of knowledge. Same goes for your dashboard. When you're designing for your executives, your CEOs, or some companies, they call them Genkos, um, they don't have time to look into the nitty gritty or look into what certain things. What they want to see is high level KPIs. You get, they just want to, most times they don't even consume it for long. It is only you prepare certain reports for their Monday meetings or weekly meetings or monthly meetings, maybe. So you shouldn't, when you're designing dashboards for these people, you shouldn't spend your time running drill throughs or drill down, drill throughs, sorry, running some of these things that do not matter because they won't look at it. It's not their concern. When you're talking design dashboards for supervisors, these guys they want to hear about or learn about team performance. They want to learn about weekly targets. Are our marketers meeting their targets? Are our products coming in compared to last week? What did they do compared to the daily average of last month? Something like that. Supervisors want to talk about targets, want to talk about performance, want to talk about, you know. Then we come down to analysts. I think most of us are on this level. Analysts are the ones who actually want to do a lot of drill throughs. I want to look at trends, correlations. A lot of us like correlations. I started using correlations in my dashboards recently, and I did not know it was a gold mine. Analysts want to touch everything, and I don't know. Some of us actually are looking for problems in dashboards. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like when I pick up, because most of my friends don't know this. Some of them are on this call. When they drop a dashboard on Twitter or LinkedIn and say, "Oh, I designed this, I designed that," I don't even, sometimes before I even comment or like or quote, I'll first go and look into the link. I'll click the link. I'll go and interact with it and touch everywhere, click everywhere in dashboard. Before I come and say, "Oh yeah, dashboard was nice." I admit I don't give them too much because that their head not swell. But then this is what it is. Then we have operators. These are people who are like field staff, frontline. They want real-time performance, real-time data. Like, okay, what are we doing right now? What's going on right now? What do we need to fix today? So these are the ones who are looking into what do you call it? What we call it, or looking for that word, refreshes. This periodic refresh. Every morning you need to refresh your report so they can see exactly what is available right now. Most times they don't want to stress themselves or spend their time drilling down or looking back into the past. Just want to know, what are you doing now? How do you compare to last week or last month, month on month, year on, not even year on year should be like executive level, month on month or week on week or day on day or something. Just want to know real time and then move on. Then this brings us to the general public, the general audience. A lot of people who are not data inclined, or even tech inclined. But most of the general audience just they get attracted to the UI part of the dashboard. Most of them don't even click through. They don't even experience the dashboard. But most times we don't build for them, do we? I don't think we do. We build for ourselves and then for those people in our fields who would actually understand what a dashboard is and what it does. So most times the general audience, they just want simplicity. They want to look at it and be like, "Oh wow, your dashboard is fine." I remember someone entering my DM and offering me a gig because he looked at my I don't know, some people know about my FC24, that's FIFA 24 dashboard I built last year. It was so beautiful, like a gaming dashboard. And the gig was basically UI design for, I've forgotten what was the project. I think it was this Millennium Development Goals for their country. I looked into it. We had several meetings. I had to tell them that, bro, yeah, now this stuff is not for me. I just analyze data and I present my results. I'm going to recommend a UI UX designer for you, and I did that, and they went their merry way. Basically, the general public who do not really understand data and what we show would have that. Oh, it's beautiful, it's nice. That's all. So when we design dashboards, we should put our stakeholders in mind. When I give out projects, my organization, sometimes I put the stakeholder in the project brief and say, oh, you're designing the dashboard for the executive management or for head of finance, something like that. So they know who they are going to be doing this for. Next is know your industry. This one is very important because each industry has its own kind of KPI. Now, the KPI stands for key performance indicator. And basically, your KPIs are a measure of your performance or a measure of whether or not you're on track. You get. So the KPIs for a healthcare system, say a hospital or a pharmacy, are different from the KPIs for a retail store. Now, a retail store may be looking into total revenue, profit over time, what order, average order value, stuff like that, that concerns money, 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 money. Customer lifetime value also is there. But then when it comes to healthcare, some of them are thinking about patient wait time, appointment no-show rates, bed occupancy rates, as regards hospitals. There's also readmission rates. At what rate do patients go and come back? Sometimes patients are like they just come, visit once and go, and they don't come back till maybe after 6 months. These are not readmission rates. But then when these do not talk about readmission. When you see a patient go and come back within 2 weeks or within days, you know that, okay, he has been readmitted. It's possible there's still correlation with what he was admitted for in the first place. These are the KPIs they look into. For finance, it's also money, 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 money. For customer feedback, the advice we've always given for feedback dashboards, or most times when we get that customer feedback, we give out questionnaires, we do polls, we ask for fill a form and tell us your experience or what you feel or what you want. We always advise that you don't give open-ended questions. You get open-ended questions are very difficult to analyze, or open-ended answers, sorry, are difficult to analyze, because when one person is writing exactly what they experienced, and that person is writing in the beginning, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, and then how do you analyze those two? And they're all talking about the same product. So we say give them options 1 to 5. What was your experience using our device? Satisfactory, unsatisfactory, very unsatisfactory, annoying, great, something like that. So they pick, and then you can now build your dashboard based on that. Geolocation companies. I once did an analysis for a company. Was it on site gig some years ago? They had locations for, what do you call it, storage locations all over the United Kingdom. Different kinds of storage. Like how do I explain storage? Like rented storage. Let's say you're moving to a new place and you are moving, you have to move out of your previous apartment with your things, but then the new house is not ready. So what you do, you take all your things and you go to one of these rented storage pods. You rent one for a period of time, let's say 1 month, like subscription, and then you put your things in. They give you lock it. They give you the key. You hold the key, and you maybe lodge in a hotel, stay with your friends or family till your new place is ready. When you are ready to move in, you now come with your car or truck and move your things out, and that's what you pay for that period of rentage. And I'm thinking the amount of space what you're paying for too. Now there are different kinds. Some are in people's houses, a basement. Some are standalone. Some are like skyscraper, stuff like that. Different kinds of storages. So the dashboard I built for them, in fact, the first thing was half, 3/4 of the landing page was a map of the United Kingdom, pinpointing all their storage locations. If I remember clearly, they had about 15,000 storage locations all over the UK in different cities. Now, this was what, in fact, it made them happy because that was what they were looking for. The first thing they saw when they clicked on my link was that map, geolocation dashboard. And then I had my charts. I did a small table somewhere. I did another expose in another page where you can compare locations, storages, different things with all the maps and all. But I'm saying, because I worked on a geolocation project, this was the first thing, location, map. So know your industry. Like at the bottom, I say KPIs are different. Users want to see KPIs that are specific to their needs. Now, if you build a dashboard for a hospital and then the first KPI they are seeing is total revenue or average profits or number of customers, is a turn off. Is a turn off. And most times these people won't even stress you. They just say thank you very much, and that's it. You won't hear from them again because you're on your own. There are people who are willing to do above and beyond what they are looking for. So you have to take this into consideration. Next advice or next best practice I'll say is gather user feedback. There are several ways to gather feedback. In fact, this should be number one because it is the user that is the principal. Some places they say the customer is always right. Customer has knowledge of that thing. You feel, oh, it runs like this, it runs like that. I remember telling someone when I worked in a bank, a lot of customer complaints. I didn't fully understand how you say bank is debiting for nothing. No, now until I came out, I resigned and I wrote to convert my staff accounts to customer accounts. That month, my money, I didn't have much in the account. I had like 2,000 something, but it dropped down to minus 600 because all those charges they were charging customers, I was privileged to not see them before. Now I decided to collect. So the user feedback is actually very, very important. And how do you gather them? There are several ways. You can interview your users, your stakeholders, your clients, past clients, people you build dashboards for, and you ask them, okay, please, this dashboard, I need a comprehensive review from you. Help me check what are the shortcomings, what are things I should improve on for next time. You get you can interview people. One thing I actually do, a lot of my friends, I disturb a lot when I want to drop a dashboard, try this one dashboard a month. I have my very good friend Sidi Kalawan. Sid, I give her links. I put it on what you call the Power BI service. I send the links and then I send periodic screenshots, sometimes even videos. This is what I do with my dashboard. How do you see it? I have friends that I always disturb. I remember a time there was a friend of mine that kept complaining that all your dashboards are always blue. What is the problem? They curse you with blue color. And then I started exploring colors. So you notice this year I started exploring colors a lot. Before, my dashboards always had an element of blue. It was not deliberate. It was just my go-to color. Blue is like the calmest, I don't know, the most agreeable business color. It's most serious business color, apart from black, which we know we cannot all use black as our dashboard color. But blue just, because of that, I had to start looking at other colors. Now, another way of getting user feedback is survey. I've already talked about surveys briefly. You can drop a survey with your dashboard, after your dashboard, if you're really serious about getting feedback. What do you guys think? Fill this little survey so I can improve on my craft. Sometimes even when we drop posts and we like we're posting our dashboards on Twitter, on LinkedIn, we still ask questions towards the end. Feedback is welcome. Then you see comments like remove this, remove that, do it this way, your choice of color for this color on this red on this green causes a little bit of problem for the visually impaired. All this feedback is what you take in and improve improve on the next dashboard you will release. You can run polls. Thankfully, WhatsApp has that feature. Twitter has that feature. LinkedIn has that feature. Almost every social media has that feature now. You can run polls and people will select different options, and then you know what direction you should go from there. Another one is usage metrics. Now, if you're lucky to be able to see usage metrics, you would know what aspect of your dashboard causes problems for your users, or what aspect is most enjoyable. Metrics like click-through rate. I think that click-through rate is for websites, but I don't know. I don't think Power BI has this, but I will check it though. Or if you're lucky enough to see usage metrics, you will know where you need improvement. Another one is to look at the performance of your previous dashboard. Now, you've been posting dashboards for a while now. Going back and looking through the comments you received, the engagements, the likes, the shares, the quotes, do you feel there is need for improvement? Yes, definitely. Now let's take that into consideration. Remember giving out an assignment to some of my students. I'm like, okay, after you posted a dashboard recently, right? Now go and gather all the feedback you got from that. In fact, if you did not get enough feedback, repost it, send it out to several people, let them give you feedback, and then create like that same dashboard. You're going to create an improved version of it based on feedback you have received. You get, with this, they were able to improve that dashboard, and they understood that okay, user experience is something they didn't know it was even user experience I was doing for them. Now there was something I did on my WhatsApp status a few days ago. Some of my friends saw it, and I it was never for this purpose, but it's part of gathering feedback. I did a small A and B testing. I'm just gonna open it, so you guys will see. Okay, these are the photos. Now I did a small A and B testing on my WhatsApp status, and I just wanted to know. I was actually genuinely confused. You get, I'm creating a dashboard for my one dashboard a month. I've not released July version. This is 26th already. Sid, well done. Anyways, I was genuinely confused about how to show my KPI cards, and I said, "Hi guys, I want to run a quick A and B test by you. Kindly focus. A and B is not, also known as stakes test. Should we choose this option or this other option?" You get. So I said, kindly focus on the KPI cards at top. Pick the one you prefer of the two, and then I showed this as option A. Option A has your KPI, total sales, and then this percentage metric comparing this year with last year. You get, this was option A. Option B had a chart inside of the KPI card. Now, the fun thing is I actually designed option B first. In fact, I had it on the dashboard for days. And then I just thought, why don't I compare it with last year? Because I had a visual inside the same dashboard, like towards the bottom under this pie chart, that showed sales over time, monthly sales. In fact, the same monthly sales I put inside the KPI card. So I felt maybe I should put something different. That was when I designed the second option, or the option A, and then I got confused. So I did this, I put this on my WhatsApp status, and I said to gather responses. I'm not going to show the responses I got because there are too many. I was just hoping to get at least maybe 5 people respond or 10 people. I got 38 responses. I was shocked. Like, oh, you actually paying attention to my WhatsApp status. People that don't chat to me normally. So I got a lot of responses, and out of that 38 responses, 32 people chose option A, the one with the what do you call it, percentage metric. That is almost 85%. I had no doubt. This is actually what I eventually went for. I just thanked, I kept thanking them individually. Thank you very much. Some people still responded up until the status disappeared. No, it's 24 hours. And I'm like, oh, we've already even picked, majority picked the first one, option A, because of this percentage metric. It actually tells a story. The chart, the one with the chart, most times it's just aesthetics. You can't really tell what it's talking about. You get. It's beautiful and it's useful. I've used this. I will still use something like this in future. Just for this dashboard, option A was what I went for based on user feedback. Now let's go back to our. No, why did we go back to being? Yes, user feedback. Back to our presentation. After gathering user feedback, we want to go into building our dashboard proper. I told you I went with option A, and that is what my KPI show here. Now, the first thing to the first thing to do with your dashboard is to simplify navigation. Now, a lot of people assume that navigation is just talking about switching slides or sheets or views, but navigation is basically the journey, the customer journey within your dashboard. You can navigate within one page. First thing on my list is use KPI cards to highlight key information. Now, marrying this with the know your industry point I made earlier, your KPI cards first should give information about, how do I put this? Your KPI cards first should talk about your industry and what is important, what is most important. Now, with these KPIs, you don't need me to tell you that my data set is about sales or e-commerce, maybe e-commerce or sales or retail or something like that. You don't need me to even tell you the title of the project. You already know what it's about because you're seeing total sales, total profit, orders, average order value. Now, inside this KPI card, I still did a comparison because the dashboard, this particular page is filtered to a certain year. So I'm always comparing to previous year. It's another thing I did. I set it to force a year on my year slicer. So I don't go out, I don't click out or remove it. It's either this year or last year or previous year, something like that. And the KPI cards are always telling a story. Under advice is to put related visuals together. I see that a lot. Some people they'll talk about revenue in one. Next thing they're talking about products. Next thing they're talking about customers. And next thing they're talking about locations. And they're jumping. There's something we call data storytelling. That you're supposed to try and relate each chart to the next or to the previous in the form of a story. You take the customer through a journey, you get, using data. You tell a story. This is how we tell stories. Some of us don't know how to write plenty. So put related visuals together. Most times when I release dashboards, you see I group them. The first one is basically the overview, like a summary of the entire thing, performance over time, everything. Then I go into the next page. I may go into customers, customer performance, customer preferences, stuff like that. I can go into another page that has product stuff, and that one that has geography or location analysis, and that one that has inventory analysis. You get, I'm putting things that are related together so that you don't cause this kind of breaks in transmission, the customer's mind, on the user's mind, sorry. And that option, give your pages clear titles. I've seen dashboards where they say page 1, page 2, page 3. No. See, do it in such a way that since your visuals are even grouped, are even put together, you should know the kind of page title to use. Don't just get confused and start using page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give your pages clear titles. Use bookmarks to save specific views. This is actually like an intermediate to advanced technique. If you don't know how to use bookmarks, no stress. It's just something you learn and you enjoy when you master it. A lot of people have issues with it. I've helped a lot of people with bookmarks configuration. Bookmarks are complex sometimes, especially when you have several different bookmarks on one page. I've done a dashboard where on the page I had two times. Okay, I had 12 bookmarks for different things. It's difficult to maintain if you don't know what you're doing. It can cause problems. Another one is to use custom tooltips. Power BI comes with the default tooltip where you just list out everything in your chart and say, let's say chart is about the total sales per region. So your tooltip will have region name, will have total sales, something like that. Now you can create custom tooltips in other pages and then use them in the main page that talk about several extra things. You can even add extra information to your visual. This also is a craft and it will be good if you can master it, because I've seen a lot. I've not mastered it yet. I'm still learning to use custom tooltips. I'm learning to create custom tooltips. So sometimes I avoid because I don't like trouble. But it will actually be good if you can learn and master custom tooltips. Another advice to simplify navigation is to work on visual interactions or the visual interactivity. I think we'll talk about that a little later, but let's just stick with these ones for now. The next section I'm talking about, choice of charts. Choose effective charts. Now, what most people don't know is that several charts have their primary use. Some are so strict, if you use them elsewhere, they may cause problems. For instance, the line chart or the area chart. I prefer the area chart, but the area chart is basically a line chart that is shaded. They do the same thing. They work with trends. You get, they work with trends. They show changes over time. It could be by month, it could be by quarter, by year, it could be by day, it could be by era or millennium. I've done I've built charts of different kinds of metrics. So line charts primarily are used for trends. I see a lot of using line charts to compare categories. Now you see that line, it's trying to take you on a journey from point A to point B. So where there is no journey from point A to point B, or from this year to this year, or this month to that month, it causes confusion. This brings us to the bar chart. Now the bar chart is used to show ranking. You get, basically you want to know which category or which item has the most sales compared to the rest, and then you rank them like that till the lowest. Now, if you see over here, there's a bar chart, profit by market. The first one is Europe. You don't need anybody to tell you. You don't need to stress yourself to know that our most profitable market is Europe. And the least profitable, even though we made $22,000 from them over that year, was Africa. You don't need anybody to tell you. The chart just tells you. You use the chart to rank them. Now, I see people just sorting the bar charts alphabetically, and then I just shake my head like, nah, man, nah. If you sort this profit by market alphabetically, Africa comes out on top, and we know that it's not correct. It's somehow. So the best way to the only way to sort a bar chart is by the performance, the rank of whatever you are measuring, whatever metric you put in there. It could be profit, it could be number of customers or products, it could be sales. We also encourage you to do a top N chart, say top 5 or top 10. Now, a lot of us have seen charts where there are more than 20 items. It is difficult to read. You get, you don't stress your users by putting stuff like that in your dashboard. It becomes cumbersome when you have too much of that. So me personally, my personal favorite is the top 5. This profit by market is not a top 5 chart because we have only 5 markets: Europe, Latin America, US and Canada, Africa, and Asia Pacific. Just 5 markets, thankfully. Now, if I did a top 5 chart, I would put it in the title of the bar chart: profit by market top 5, or top 5 markets by profit, something like that, like to let the user know that this is not all that's there, this is just the top 5. This brings us to the column charts. The column charts are a little versatile. They play midfield and attacking forward, thankfully. You can use the column chart to compare categories. You can use the column chart to show trends over time. So whenever you are confused about what to do with the column chart, just understand you can use a column chart to compare, and you can use a column chart to show trends. These are, in fact, the most common. Okay, before I even go to start, sorry, someone talking to me. Hello? Should I? Okay, let's continue. Before I talk about the scatter, let's talk about the pie or the donut chart. This one causes a lot of confusion. Yeah, I've met analysts and designers that absolutely hate pie/donut chart. I keep saying slash because they're basically the same thing. The donut chart is just a pie chart that has a hole in the middle, and I personally prefer the donut chart. I don't think since my beginner days, I don't use donut charts. I don't use pie charts, sorry. I use donut charts. Sometimes I put a KPI inside that small circle in the middle. Sometimes I leave it blank, just like you see over here. Now, the donut chart or the pie chart is used to show proportions of a whole, or how each segment or each category contributes to the total. You get? So in fact, basically the donut chart or the pie chart needs to show percentages. But in this particular one, I put both the value and the percentage. If you look closely, it's still under, I'm still experimenting. This dashboard is still under construction. I may show it later, maybe towards the end. Now, I see people using donut charts to show stuff that are already in percentage, like profit margin. Now, you don't relate profit margins of different categories to each other. One may have 25%, one may have 70%, one may have 15%, one may have 90%, and you put all of that into a pie chart or a donut chart. Doesn't make much sense. So when you have rates or percentage metrics, you don't use a donut chart, right? You use maybe a bar chart or a column chart. You're comparing categories. The bar chart is ranking those categories in comparison. Now, donut chart is used to show stuff that contributes to a whole, so that when you add everything together, it gives you that total. This brings us to the scatter plot. I don't remember why I put it in number 4 position. It should be the last thing here. And there are more charts though, but this is where we'll stop for now. The scatter plot is used to compare two numeric fields. Let's say you want to compare sales and profits. And then you create a scatter plot and it shows you the higher sales you make, the higher profit. That's like the obvious correlation. But when it happens that the more sales you make, the less profit you have, it calls for concern, right? Now, that's where you want to use a scatter plot to compare or correlate two numeric fields. We also have a map. There are different kinds of map in Power BI. We have the shape map, we have the normal map, we have the field map, and then we have custom maps. You get? There are different kinds of bar charts too. We have our stacked bar charts, we have our clustered bar charts, same for column charts, same for line charts. Power BI gives us luxury of a lot of variations of all these charts. You get? There is a tree map. I personally do not use a tree map because it forces me to use several colors. The tree map is used to show hierarchy from this to this to this to this, almost like a bar chart, almost like what a bar chart does, but in a kind of complex way where each segment of a tree map is just, tree maps filled with squares and boxes. Each segment has to have its own color or its own shade. If not, it will not make much sense. Now, if you don't use it correctly, you have so many colors in your dashboard or on your page, and it causes issues because you shouldn't be having all those colors to start with. So I personally just put it aside until it's extremely necessary, and for a long time it has not been extremely necessary. We have several other kinds of visuals, but these are the ones that are the most commonly used. In fact, the scatter is not even commonly used. I just put it there in case anybody wants to really go into it. But we have our line, bar, column, and pie charts. These are the most commonly used charts, most commonly understood charts. Remember, we are talking about putting ourselves on the other side of the table, putting the user experience at the top of our list of important things. So the users actually prefer to look at these simple things. Remember when I used to be fascinated by Sankey charts? I don't know if anybody knows a Sankey chart. I think a Sankey chart, how do I even explain it? It's just curves and lines and curves and lines, and I'm like, wow, I don't know what it's talking about. So I based on my user feedback and my experience over the years, started to be using simple charts. Most of my dashboards now, these are just the simple charts you see in them because they are the ones that are easier to grasp at the beginning. Next option is to style your charts effectively. Now, it's not enough to know the right charts to use. You have to know how to format them. I have two charts here. At the beginning, my column charts look like this, option A. You see how option A, it is just the basic. You just put everything inside the column chart. You put your month's name, put your total sales, and it gives you that. And then it doesn't really say much. It has a lot of issues, and I'm going to break them down. I'm going to break it down one by one, tell you what I did. to get to option B. First of all, I want to highlight what is most important. To me, what is most important, or to my user, what is most important is where did we perform the most, where did we perform the least. So I created a DAX measure to highlight only the maximum and the minimum, like the month with the maximum and minimum sales, and then turn every other thing to gray. Another thing, I removed the title from my X and the Y axis because there's no need. The title of the chart already tells us monthly sales trend. Month is on my X axis, sales on my Y axis. I don't need to still write total sales, month name in my axis. It's something a lot of people forget to do. Remove your axis title since your chart title already covers all of that. You don't need the axis title to tell us what is in the axis. Another thing I did, I noticed people do not like to turn their head 45 degrees or to read at an angle. I always say keep your labels horizontal. Now, in a case where the space is not enough to make a horizontal label, abbreviate it, especially for your months. Thankfully, we have like the official month abbreviations for January to December, 3-letter abbreviations. This is also from my date table. Easy to understand. In fact, if it's still too tiny, I can make it the initials, JFMAM, like that. But thankfully, this one satisfies. We're good. I've seen someone use 1 to 12 for months, and I told the person, nah, put the full month name. Put the month name. Could be abbreviation. That 1 to 12. Some people may never comprehend. Some people have to sing the calendar song to understand what month 10 is. So just put the month name there. Again, I've talked about several things and I did not talk about grid lines. Grid lines are not necessary. Most times they constitute noise, just lines. They distract. Someone says they distract the user from what exactly you're trying to show. We are trying to tell a story about sales, monthly sales. We can see the ups and downs. We can see our highest performance in December at the end of the year, at least in February. That would be like a cause for concern for our executive. Like just 2 months before, we had so much, and I'm sure this is how it was the previous year, December highest, and then before you know, there was a dip. Why? What's going on? And then we look into it. So remove those grid lines. You don't need them. You only use grid lines when they are absolutely necessary. You get absolutely necessary. And I think the only place I've used grid lines recently is in scatter plots. Good. Now going forward, look at my chart title. I always tell my people, do not allow Power BI to name your charts for you. Power BI just picks up the names based on the columns that you put in. If you notice, I have month name in my x-axis, total sales in my y-axis. So Power BI named my chart total sales by month name. Doesn't really make sense. So I decided to do something else. I said monthly sales trend. Simple. You can even make it into some kind of description or story or question into that chart, you get, so that your user understand before they understand what they are looking into. Then I added a little razzle dazzle. I put just 2 KPI. These are actually KPI cards. These are actually cards with measures that show the max and the mean sales. In case the person doesn't want to stress themselves with these numbers, I use this. I can remove this if my user accepts, if my user test or my user feedback comes back and they're like, no, they don't need it. I can remove it. User doesn't need it, so I remove it. Now, you can apply all these principles to all your other kinds of charts. Say your line charts, your area charts, almost the same thing. Take out your axis titles, grid lines, not necessary. Do not clutter your charts with labels. Now, I've seen people who put labels I did that, I think late last year or early this year. You're trying to show everything, right? Just that when you put numbers everywhere, it can cause confusion. So it's best to put numbers on what is important. You can label only, you can create measures, there are actually measures for that. Label only the ones that are above average. I actually added an average line. You get, I can rightly say that about 7 months are below average, which is a cause for concern. It's that simple. So you can label only ones that are above average, you can color only the ones that are above average. Like you want to actually steer the user into a certain direction. I did not bring visuals for my pie chart, or for pie or donut. Just look at this one over here. I removed by default, Power BI puts a legend title. Forgotten what the title is. Title or legend? I've forgotten. Okay, you put the title of that column segment as your legend title. You don't need a legend title, remove it. You can put your legend on the right side at the top. I think even at the bottom, just somewhere that the user will be able to read. Or you can even remove the legend altogether and put that that field, in this case segment, inside the data label. So you say corporate 58%, consumer 32%, self-employed 8%, something like that, and remove the legend altogether based on your user's preference. But make sure that your charts are easy to read, easy to understand. Next is improving interactivity. Now, there are several ways. This is actually the the overview page of the dashboard. There are several ways that you can show interactivity or interaction in your dashboard. There are several ways. First is slicers, which is the most obvious. I have my year slicer at the top right corner. Using this slicer, I can filter to any year I want. I can add more slicers if I want. Our best practice says do not put too many slicers on your dashboard. If you have to create or add many slicers, invest in a slicer panel. Now, I've used slicer panels in the past and people don't even interact with it that much. So I felt, let me not stress myself. It's not every time they want to filter their data like that. So use slicers to enhance interactivity. There's also what we call drill downs. Now, there's no drill down here, but a drill down will help us to go down a level of hierarchy. What is hierarchy? Basically, hierarchy is position or ranking or something like that. In geography, hierarchy, we have our continent, we have our country, we have states, we have city. It just keeps coming down. Now, drill downs help us to come down to several different levels of that particular category or segment of industry or geographical location. Then cross-filtering. Cross-filtering talks about how all these charts interact with each other. You see how I'm clicking around and it's filtering every other chart. I'm actually cross-filtering. I'm looking at December, I'm looking at Asia Pacific, different levels based on the filters of the visuals. Now, if I remember clearly, Excel doesn't have this feature, and this is one of the limitations I find with Excel. You can't, unless maybe there's a workaround, or maybe some people found a way to do it, but you can't really cross filter in Excel or filter from one visual to another in Excel. Then we have drill throughs. Drill throughs basically take us to a page that has more detailed information. Let's say on that my bar chart of sales by segment, I drill through it to, sales by market. I drill through it to see all the sales in Africa, and it shows me everything going on in Africa. Take me to another page. That's a drill through page. It has its own configurations, has its own everything. I already talked about custom tooltips, where we design another page that serves as a tooltip instead of the default one that comes with Power BI. Then the navigation buttons. On the left side, what is this? On the left side, we have our page navigation buttons. My advice for this is to keep it somewhere that is easy to access. Most times we create a navigation pane. It will be on the left, it will be at the top. I like this left side. I've used top before and it's also nice. Just make them neat, make them uniform on all pages so you don't stress your users going from page one, going from the left side on page one to the right side on page two to the top on page three. Put them in one side and then configure them exactly alike so it will be seamless. Move navigation for your
User will be seamless. Let's go further. Next, we're going to talk about is dashboard accessibility. Now, I went on the internet and I searched for poor dashboard samples, and this was the first thing that came out of Google image search. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm taking this one. Please, this is nonsense. I'm sure the person who did this deliberately. I think he said it. I put a source link where you can find the actual post. The person actually said he found it. He was looking for you to design it. It was the most terrible dashboard and use it for his example. I also picked that. So ensure dashboard accessibility. What's accessibility? What's accessibility, Seth? It's just what the name implies. So follow design best practices. We've talked about best practices since we started this. Maximum of 3 colors. I see people using colors a lot. Colors wound me visually. I use glasses, and sometimes I have to take off my glasses to see a dashboard properly. I don't know why I have to do that sometimes, but it's just stressful. You get don't stress your users with several different colors unless it is for a purpose. Now, if you put, some of you are familiar with some of these customer complaints dashboards, customer feedback dashboards that have been going around on Twitter and LinkedIn lately. You see, they put each segment has its own color. I designed one for my June dashboard, right? Was it June dashboard? Where each quadrant had a different color. One was blue, one was red, one was green, one was yellow. I also made sure that the different colors were not very vibrant. They were calm. Make your colors calm. You get. Make sure that you don't stress your users with colors that don't go together. Make it interesting. Now, there are users, I guess a customer, there are users who have this color blindness. Some don't even know. I was watching a movie where the guy was like, "Why are you wearing that brown shoe?" And they're like, "It's not brown, it's green." I said, "No, it's brown." Everybody said it's green. He didn't know he was colorblind and he was seeing green as brown. There are people like that, they don't know. So when you put a dashboard and you put red and you put brown, pink inside, they all look like the same color to some people. So you have to design dashboards with this in mind, that okay, you want your colors to actually be distinctive and they should also flow. Now, my advice most times, I always advise if you're designing a light dashboard, use white. Like, have white in mind, have light gray in mind, and then pick any other color. It will go well. You see this my dashboard, it has white, it has light gray, and then there's a blue, there's a variation of different shades of blue in it. Almost like a monochrome dashboard, but you may not notice, you may think that's black, but it's a very, very dark blue. Now the white and the gray has already sold the dashboard. Every other color is complementary. You're not even going to use many colors. You get, they just complement each other because it is a light dashboard, white and gray. If it's a dark dashboard, this is very tricky and I do not have advice for it. Some of us just go with the flow, whatever works. So for clarity, use 4 to 6 visuals on a page. I've seen dashboards where they clutter with so many visuals. Some they have to squeeze in a map here, squeeze in a line chart there. And I'm like, yo, it's your Power BI now. Just add another page and put some of these things. Yeah, don't just pack everything and put in one page. You stress your user out, you confuse them. So 4 to 6 visuals. I've even have this, what am I saying? In some of my dashboards, even in this one I'm working on, there's a page I have only 3 visuals, just to tell the story, workout, simple. Next is the Q&A visual. Most people don't use it. I only use it when giving dashboards to executives, to people who they don't want to be using their eyes to look for certain things. So there's a Q&A visual. Just ask a question. What month did I perform the most? Was the sales the highest? What's my least performing product? Something like there's actually a Q&A visual in Power BI that people do not use. Use it to your advantage. That's why I put there. So that your user can be able to ask questions with your dashboard and get a response back. Those of us who have taken the Microsoft exam, we understand that one very well because they ask those questions on it. Last but not least, enable focus mode for visuals. Now, this is for users who want to look into the nitty-gritty, who want to go deep into your visuals, the focus mode is actually enabled by default. Some people turn it off. And when you point to a visual, you hover over a visual, you see a bunch of icons that show on top. There's one that has this focus. When you click on it, it enlarges that visuals to fill the entire screen. Enlarges that visual, sorry, to fill the entire screen, and they can see everything as large as possible, no mistakes. So if you are designing dashboards for people who are very sensitive about what exactly is inside these visuals, they don't want to zoom too much, you can just enable it for them so they can just click that button and click back when they're done. I think this sums up our talk about best practices, and I'm going to go into mistakes to avoid. There are not many. It's just that the thing is, like someone said, you can do 99 good, but that one bad is what they will know you for. You get? There are not many mistakes, but that one simple mistake can ruin the entire user experience. And what are they? First, like I mentioned, poor color choices. There are several ways to pick color for your dashboard. One is to know the brand that you're working with and their colors. Now, if you are designing a dashboard for MTN, definitely you want to put yellow everywhere, because in fact, everywhere you go is even their slogan. But then you have to pause for a minute. You understand that yellow is their color, but designing a dashboard with yellows all over is I'm tempted to say red flag, but okay, yellow flag is a flag, sure, but it's not a good one, because yellow as a color has it gives a message, or it passes a message. Yellow is a warning color for some people who know. Yellow is a warning color or hazard color. Red is danger. This one is common knowledge. Danger, stop, don't, all those things. Green is go, growth, agree. Some colors tell stories or send messages. So packing those colors and filling your dashboard can actually be counterproductive. There's a way you can use that yellow. You see how I talked about white and gray? Those two, they're like conjoined twins. When you use them and use another color, to go well. You can use those brand colors in such a way that they don't consume your user experience. Now the user is looking at the dashboard, all he's seeing is yellow. He misses the parts where he's supposed to pay attention to, because the yellow is just too much. Sometimes people put several different colors, like I mentioned earlier. So calm down and pick your colors wisely. I already talked about Power BI naming your charts by default. They also name whatever column you drag into your visual is what will stay there. If you don't want the month name to show in the tooltip, let's say we're using a default tooltip to show month name, you can double click on that or right click and rename it to maybe month. So do not leave Power BI to give your charts and your columns, your charts and your I say column and columns, your charts, even your page default names. No, don't. No, default name in Power BI is page 1, page 2, page what. Change those names yourself into what is acceptable. Next is inconsistent formatting across dashboards. Yeah, you have different kinds of line chart or bar charts. Some have grids, some do not. Some have labels, some do not. Inconsistency is a turn off. It causes breaks when people are following a story. Make everything consistent. I always advise that if you're using a pie chart in one in one page, if you're using two pie charts in one page, let both of them be pie. I've seen where someone use pie here and donuts here. Let it be consistent. Let it be uniform. Put your charts. Let them be uniform. Inconsistent navigation. I talked about that earlier. You put your navigation bar on the left on page 1. In page 2 is at the top. In page 3 is on the right side. Like, why are you dragging us around? Put it in one place. I can just be clicking navigation in one spot. Then using inconsistent chart shapes. Now, this talks about two different things. One, you have your column charts, and the thickness of one column chart is different from thickness of another. Use the same type throughout. Let everything be consistent. Also talking about the background of your charts. Some you see in some dashboards, you put the background as sharp cornered shapes, sharp cornered rectangles. In another visual or dashboards page, you put rounded corners. Let them be consistent. You get. Another mistake to avoid is not formatting. Some people do not even format at all. They just throw things in and allow Power BI to take its way. And that one is the color choice. Well, it's part of the color choice. I personally, I do not like the default blue color Power BI gives our dashboard charts. All of us know it. When you drop a chart on Power BI, it gives it one light blue, and then there's one orange somewhere. Sorry, light blue, dark blue, orange. Choose your colors, deliberately. Don't just allow Power BI to handle all of these things. There are several other mistakes about, but this was just a few I put inside this presentation. What do we have next? Conclusion. In conclusion, what are our key takeaways? First is we learned about what user experience is and what it's focusing on. It focuses on, and what it does to our customers or to our users. I keep saying customer. Hey, God, I beg. What user experience is for our users, and what its relationship is to the UI. Like I said earlier, having a beautiful UI is one thing, but the user experience, if it is bad, it is a turn off for most people. You get. Now, I also talked about tailoring your report or your dashboard to the audience you're making it for. So some of the projects we execute, some challenges we participate in, they tell us, the stakeholder or the audience, design a high level executive dashboard, design this kind of dashboard, design this other kind of dashboard. You have to know your audience and then tailor your dashboard accordingly. I also talked about gathering user feedback to improve your dashboard, your dashboarding, and put it that way. Now, I talked about simplifying your navigation and your visuals. Now, I did not talk much about simplifying visuals or the rationale I have behind it. Now, like I said earlier, I used to be fascinated by big visuals, even wanted to put them in my dashboard, but I realized that people do not really resonate towards those things. People want simple, people want related, people want something that's easy for them to grasp in the first few seconds. So using a set of bar charts, line charts, column charts, pie charts, map. In fact, it's too much. It's more than enough for you to tell your story. Also simplifying the way they interact with each other. Do your best to make the dashboard experience understandable, enjoyable, relatable to your user. Then we talked about some of the common mistakes. I told you the mistakes are few, but then when you make some of those mistakes, they scatter all the work that you've done in building your dashboard. You can spend months on a dashboard, and then a user comes to interact with it and the person says, man, all these visuals are too much now. It's too much. I don't even understand what I'm looking at. It means they didn't grasp anything from all your months of work. You just wasted your time and your energy. Then I remember talking about testing. Okay, yeah, I talked about user feedback. Now, this also comes after you've published or after you've presented your stuff. Test it. I create your dashboard based on feedback. Get feedback basically. Okay, how did you do? Even when I drop my next dashboard, I'm still going to say feedback is welcome, because I want someone to come tell me, oh, this particular aspect of the dashboard, there's a problem. I've gotten that a lot, and I'm always grateful. And I implement some of those things there and then in that dashboard, even though I can't make another post about it. Sometimes I just move it on to the next project. So I think I've come to the end of my plenty talk. Honestly, I do not talk this much on a normal day, but yes, I've come to the end of my presentation. If anybody has any question, they can please feel free to ask now. Thank you very much.
All right, Jude, thank you so much. Please, can you hear me, guys? Jude, thank you so much. Thank you. So It's question and answer segment. There's been a lot that has been taught. Please, if anybody has any question, please feel free to raise up your hand and or drop it in the chat. So let me know if you have a question, and I would call you up to ask the question, please. Okay, thank you so much. Anybody? No questions? Oh wow. No questions, no comments, nothing. It was delivered well. Okay. If he is a, please.
Yeah, thank you very
You can,
much. Thank you so much for that. Even though I came like maybe 10 minutes or 20 minutes into the class, I still gained a lot, and I just wanted to appreciate you. It's not much of a question. It's more of how many KPIs normally, what is the acceptable number of KPIs, you should have on a dashboard? Is it 4 or 6? I just want to know, like, have an idea. What's the acceptable number of KPIs? And when you're talking about metrics, is it like a measure or something? Just help me throw light on that. Thank you.
all right, Jay, do you want all the questions at once, or you want to attempt one after the other?
Let me attempt this. Let's see if there are more. Then
Okay, because the Salome's hand is up. So when you're done, you pick Salome.
okay. Thank you very much, Ife. Usually, like I said, we don't want information overload. We don't want to jam pack all of these things for our users. It's anything between 4 and 6, basically. Whenever I open a dashboard, I see 3 KPIs. I usually say, no, there is more. You can't just have only 3 KPIs. Give me one more at least. So between 4 and 6. Anything after more than 6, it becomes too much. My default, I don't know if I should share a screen. I'll just share. I think I have it open. My default is always
share, sir.
4
copy
KPIs.
something
Sorry.
small.
Okay, this was it May? It was an FP challenge. I had 4 KPIs. Sorry, my default is 4, not 3. This is what I'm working on right now. I said I might show it at the end. This is what I'm working on. It's still under construction, and I still have 4 KPIs. Now I have 3 pages, navigation on the left. I think I've shown I told you, this page has 3 visuals, 4 KPIs. This customer page is under construction. I usually do this because I've sent out links to this dashboard to about 3 of my friends, and so they won't be asking me, there's nothing in the customer page. It is under construction, you can see there. But then 4 KPIs. I've had some that I had to use. This one I did not even use KPI. Yeah? No KPIs in this particular. This was it April? But this one had 6 in the start page. You get revenue, orders, sales growth rate, average fulfillment, because it's a logistics dashboard, repeat customer, and profit margin. Now, if you go to other pages, you see 4. Yes, and 4. So it's basically my way of keeping. Yeah?
I think it doesn't have to be consistent all through the pages.
Yeah. It doesn't. It just be careful with your alignments. There are some people who, after putting a bunch of KPIs, they can put visuals on this side just to make sure everything aligns, just with your alignment. Yes, sorry. There was something I missed while I was talking as a way to enhance user experience using this dashboard, because I know that some people can get confused when they look at this. I put a button to show a dashboard guide at the top here. So when you click on this, see something like this. This is easy to do. You can do it in your PowerPoint. You can do it in Figma if you use Figma. Just create a semi-transparent rectangle, put your text, and drop it onto your dashboard as an overlay that tells a little about what the user should do with the dashboard. Navigation, visuals interact with each other. Each KPI card doubles. So if I click on the KPI card, I see units sold.
If I click on KPI card, I see average price. If I click on transaction, this one has its own technicality, and we're not going to discuss how I did it today. I also did that in my new one. Each KPI card is more like a metric filter. So just ways to enhance user experience. I think I've answered the question, Seth. Let me stop sharing here.
You have.
Are we
Thank you.
good?
Yes,
All right.
yes. Thank you so much.
All right,
But
thank you so
in
much.
between,
Thank you,
in between,
Jay.
can we also get your number so that when you're posting all these things, we can also be commenting, if that's okay.
You you can get his social media handle. Don't worry. Sid, please just post Jay. Sid, are you here? Okay, just don't worry. We'll get his consent. Maybe if he wants to release his number, or you just follow him on Twitter and LinkedIn. I think that's good. Salome, ma. Good afternoon. Your hand is up, please. You want to ask your question? Hello, Salome. Okay. Please, can any other person hear me? Let me be sure it's not on my network.
I can hear you.
Hello,
All
can
right.
you hear me? Yeah, audible.
Yes, we can hear you now, ma.
Okay, I'm sorry, my
Please
network
ask your
has been
question.
really, my network has been really bad. First, I want to say thank you so much, Jude. This has actually been in my mind about the whole designing of the dashboard. About a lot of dashboards on LinkedIn. Now, the part of data analysis, I've not been able to get myself through. I don't know where to start from. I've gone through a couple of the Microsoft Learn courses, but I really don't know where to start from. So, being experienced in this area, I think what I'm trying to ask is, where would you ask someone like me to start from? I mean, I'm not even able to see really full guides, walkthroughs like that online. I don't know. I don't know. I really, really need advice. I really want to start building dashboards. I mean, applying the skills I've learned. Thank you.
Okay.
All
Thank you,
right,
Salome.
Jay.
I completely understand this dilemma. This is a lot of people face it. My first advice would be to join the community. I don't know how to put it that maybe I'm just think of me as speaking in bold capital letters. Join the community. Now, when I started my journey for the first few years, I was all alone. Like I didn't know anyone. I didn't go with anyone, and I struggled. But the moment I started to join groups and join places where people talk about the same thing, you share interests, like minds attract, like iron sharpens iron, stuff like that. Now, when you go with people who A are on your level and B are going the same direction, you will find help. You will understand what you should be doing. Join a community. Also, most times in a community, you have people of different levels of experience. I'm currently in the Power BI user group you're on WhatsApp. There are people who just started, there are people who have been here for years, people way more experienced than me. I learned a lot. You get from the group and from people. Join a community. Also, I'll say find a friend, make a friend that can motivate you on days when you lack motivation. Now, for our this one dashboard, the one thing that when participating, I'm not alone. We're like, how many in our group, Gabriel? We're like 5 in our WhatsApp group. We know each other. Now, that's just the WhatsApp group. On Twitter, people have come to me in my DM and said they're starting their own journey. Someone started in April, 2 people started in May, someone started in June, like that, and people are going together. So with this, they're finding a way to get close to those of us who started since, and we can help them on their journey. I just randomly searched I just searched the hashtag one dashboard a month, and I saw people who actually did January and February and they had not done anything since. And I chatted some of them like, bro, hi, I saw your one dashboard a month post in January, February. What happened? I hope you're not dropping here. You enter this motorbike and I'm getting a response like, oh, don't mind me, Jerry. Life happened. I got busy. Someone had issues with laptop, and they were grateful for the checkup. It was basically, I feel we're like friends now. All of us are in this journey, so I'm still going to go back to them. Like, Alpha, I've still not seen your post. You will drop post, and yeah, like Gabriel. See, Gabriel is owing us. Make I talk him. How many has Gabriel even dropped?
Jude, no carry matter wey we
No,
put for outside
no,
come
no,
public.
no. I have to cast you. I go cast you because you cannot be benefiting. See, you are here. Gabriel will be in the group. All of us will be dropping project. He's a consumer. Gabriel is a consumer. He's federal government. He go they consume. He's not giving us his own. The one he managed to do, we know how we all fought over it. Gabriel is on us dashboard, So this is how we ginger each other to push, to continue pushing. Sometimes I have low motivation. There are two things I battle with: the motivation thing and imposter syndrome. Sometimes I design full dashboard and I feel, I just did rubbish. And then I show me that I like to show my friends my dashboard. Tell me the rubbish I did. And they're like, no, just fix this and this, you're good. And they push me to post. Some of the posts I've done this year, I did not feel like, I'm saying this year, I honestly considered postponing my June dashboard. If some people were following, it came late because I didn't want to post anything. I said, no, you must post. And I posted and I got positive feedback. So get yourself a community, get yourself friends. Another thing is YouTube. YouTube is a free university. It has everything. Let me even confess here. I learned to make suya on YouTube. It's funny. I learned to make. You can learn anything on YouTube for free. The only issue is there's no certificate. Nobody actually sends certificate these days. So what's the use for certificate? Learn anything. Everybody pushes out dashboard content now. Back in the day when I started, there were not many people pushing out these things. People were stingy. I say this because I'm still angry. People were stingy with this Power BI thing. But now everything is outside. Every single thing. Nobody is hiding anything. What one person is hiding, another person has said it. So there are a few pages I follow or I subscribe to on YouTube. There is my very first page I will always mention is How to Power BI as domain. There's Guy in the Cube. There's Pragmatic Works. There is this guy, Your Own KPI. Search for Your Own KPI. He works both with Power BI and Figma. His dashboards are really beautiful. User experience 100 over 100. And there are so many others. There's Injay Park also. A lot of people know Injay Park. There's so many people on YouTube who dish out Power BI data analysis content that you should be glued to. If you want, you can take a certificate course. I don't. Ever since I got the Microsoft one feels like the ultimate for me. Maybe I'll get under Microsoft certificate. Yes, thank you. Pragmatic Works. So all these Coursera, Udemy certificating, I'm not even sure that they hold water these days. But if you want to go ahead, people actually teach on some of these platforms. I might even release a course one of these years or days. I don't know. Just gather knowledge from everywhere. Another thing is your social media following. I already mentioned that these days, I feel like I've saturated my Power BI expert following. I may be following every Power BI expert that you know, especially from Nigeria. And I decided to branch into product design. I've been following UI UX designers because they help me improve my dashboard look. You get, but then your following, your people you follow, people you follow about, interact with on social media should actually help you grow professionally and as a person. What other option do I have? Practice and build in public. This is something I struggled with at the beginning. It was even up to last year I started to post my stuff. Build in public, make mistakes in public. Nobody will carry gun and shoot you because you you use green, we only yab you small. Sometimes we never yab you, but then you will improve when you get feedback because you want to grow. So build in public, practice, 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 design dashboards, gather any data set you see, do your research and do your dashboard. And I think that's plenty. Okay.
All right, Jude, thank you so much.
Thank you
I
very
think we'll
much.
take one more question. Chairman, if I pronounce your name very well, please. Your hand has been up. I think we'll take your question and then a few announcements. I would call it a day. All right. Please unmute your mic and ask your question, please.
Okay. Hi. Good evening. It's
Good
like
evening.
I came like 40 minutes into the meeting. I saw the post on X and I just jumped in. Okay, so first of all, I learned a lot within like 1 hour stuff that I was there, and I learned a lot from Jude. And thank you very much for that. So my question is on the KPIs. Now, must our KPI must it be the same for every page of our dashboard? Can we like have different KPIs based on what the page is about, or must it be the same or true? That was one. Then two. Okay, this one is kind of personal. Is it possible to is there any requirement to join like your group or something like that for the committee stuff? Thank you.
Let me take the second one. Are you talking about the one dashboard a month thing?
No, it is more like the ones that I mentioned. You guys talk about. You guys are like 5 or like you guys.
Okay, that's the one dashboard a month. I think it's just some of us friends that came together, but I don't know. I'll talk to my people and see whether they want to allow new members. But it's not a requirement. It's just in fact the one dashboard a month thing is a personal, so it's for you. Sorry, Gabriel.
So now go come out to me, replace me with somebody else. Now it's not the plan with that.
You know they useful. You do useful. Gabriel is like class monitor there. Just a monitors. You may smell for his place. So Cheme, it's not a requirement. Just it's a personal thing. Just post. I did not even know I would get certain, how do I put it, attention. I started the one dashboard in one thing because I was struggling, like I said, I was struggling in imposter syndrome. And I said, okay, I want to mandate myself that I'm going to drop a dashboard every month. That's at least 12 this year, sorry. And for the funny thing is, this is month 7. Ideally, I should be dropping the 7th dashboard. But as of now, I have dropped, how many dashboards? I've dropped 10. Some months I did more than one. You get, there's all those challenges and stuff. Some I just did 2 dashboards. I've dropped 10 already, and we're in the 7th month, and I'm still going to drop 1 more. I hope to join more challenges, because the last challenge was that one, the FP20 I did earlier. Sorry, Onyx. So I hope to join more, so I would still drop more dashboards. But it was just a personal thing. You can create your own, start anytime. My own advice, whenever people come to me, I don't want to start this one dashboard. I said, you are doing 12 months. This is your month 1. So that you will be committed. You cannot say I'm starting in July, you want to end in December. You're not ending in December. You are going to June next year. That's when you end your own. Everybody will do 12 months. So I'm not the owner of one dashboard a month. I was inspired by someone who did it last year. And it was, in fact, I followed the entire journey to December. And it was, in fact, I'll use the word glorious. I'm like, okay, this would help me. I want to do this. So you don't need to join our group. You don't need to register anywhere. Just post your thing. Just be consistent. And I'm rooting for you. The other one, you talked about KPIs. Should they be the same for each page? No, it don't have to be the same thing for each page. You can talk about, in fact, I would advise you talk about what is important on each page. Yeah, the KPIs for each sheet. My current dashboard, I have a page for overview, page for customers, page for product. Now the KPIs for the customers page, we'll talk about customer metrics, talk about customer lifetime value, talk about average order value, stuff like that. The ones for the product page talk about product stuff. I just feel putting 4 on each page gives this illusion of uniformity. You get, but it can be different for each page. Doesn't have to be the same thing. I think I've answered your questions.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'll start that 1 month challenge stuff because it will help me a lot.
Yeah, no
All
problem.
right, thank you so much.
Well
I'll also
done.
come.
Jay,
I'll also to stuff.
All right. Okay.
Jay, we had one. That was supposed to be our last question, right? I don't know why your hand is up, but that was supposed to be our last question. Do you have a question you want to ask that has not been answered yet?
Yes,
Uh,
please.
let's make it quick.
No problem. So, you were saying something about what's it called? Posting dashboards. So, for instance, if I'm working in a company, right, and I do some dashboards there, are those the kind of dashboards you're posting on LinkedIn, or is it just challenges that you're posting? Because I want to know how you're getting them. Yeah.
Well, if you're working for a company and you build a dashboard for them, we always advise to not make it public, especially when confidentiality agreement or NDA is involved. You get. What I post mostly are personal projects. I've had to post a project from a gig before, but I got the permission of the client. I got permission from the client, and 2, the permission was that you're going to post this work, but we don't want to see anything relating to us. So I changed the color theme, I changed the project title and project name, and I changed I changed the third thing. So there's no way to go back to know where the project is coming from. You get. So you don't just take company data, especially real life company data. I've worked on several projects this year. If they allow me post this thing, internet should not allow us to rest because I will just start pouring everything out. I've done dashboards that I'm like, I want my dashboard to go out with me. But no, it's not your own. It's for the company. Then as for the one dashboard a month on my regular post, these are personal projects. I sit down, analyze data. You can get data set from virtually anywhere on the internet, and make sure it is stuff that is open source. It's not stuff that is licensed and they say, oh, you cannot make this public. You get. So
Because I wanted to
does that
know.
answer?
So is it like
Right.
challenges, all those challenges? Because I
Yeah.
remember
You can. There are always challenges every month. We have Maven Analytics. They release monthly challenges. FP20 they release monthly challenges. Onyx Data DNA they release monthly
no, there
challenges.
was
All
one
these
last
are
class that we had that
yeah.
somebody talked about those challenges. I'm thinking maybe that's where you're getting those things from. There was one they
Some of my
posted in Abuja
projects.
Power BI group.
Yeah.
It was the last month meetup was basically on about challenges.
Exactly.
But basically, I think
Yes.
yeah. That is part of it. That's what he's saying. That is part of
Yeah.
it. But also you
You can
also want
do
to be
all that.
personal project.
In fact, this is going to everybody. If you want to even do this one dashboard a month and you don't want to stress yourself looking for data sets, just be waiting for the next challenge. Use it as your one dashboard a month thing. It's one dashboard and it's a month.
Okay.
Just be running it.
All right. Thank you
You
so much.
you can sort data yourself. You can use the data from the challenges. As long as the challenges are available to the public, you can use it.
Okay. But meanwhile, Jude, I didn't see your name in this Abuja something. Maybe because I'm not your friend.
I'm Jay on the group.
Jay. Okay,
It's
Jay.
Jay
Wow.
on the group.
Okay,
Jay.
no problem.
All
Thank
right,
you, Jay.
guys, good. Jude, thank you so much. Thank you. This was a very, very impactful section. And I think one of the longest we've had because there was a lot of information to give out, a lot of stuff to also make people understand. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining. I think I have some of my beautiful team leads with me. I think I have Sid here as well. Sid Car is also dropping our monthly dashboard visuals. You can check that out on Twitter or LinkedIn as well. And I also have my celebrity as well. Fauzia is our TikTok celebrity. She's also a team lead. And of course, we had Jude, who I would just by default call him J, right? I just by default call him J, right? So it's also thank you so much, J, for this section. Aisha, yes, okay. So the video will be uploaded in a day or two on our YouTube channel, where you can just go there and watch the video, right, of the section. So yes, it will be uploaded on the YouTube channel. Okay, you're from Ghana. Oh, that's beautiful. Thanks so much. So quickly, let me just look for the link and to the YouTube channel and post on the chat box, so you can like, follow, and you can subscribe, and of course put on your notification in case we upload the video. So Aisha, it's on the, and that goes for everyone as well. Please like, share, and just subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now we hold meetup every month, right? Every month, the last Saturday of every month, and the next one for the month of August would be let me check the dates. The one for the month of August will be on the 30th of August, right? So on the 30th of August, we'll be having what's it called now? A monthly meetup. So hopefully also as well, we'll bring up speakers that would give us a lot of information. Okay, so you can have it on our YouTube channel. Now, while that is said, let me quickly also pass some information. If you are yet to join the Abuja Power BI user group and you want to join, of course, there's a